It's the seventh game of the season for Aztecs football. Week 9 of the collegiate football season for the first time in a few years, though. It's got a meaningful feel to it. Aztecs seeking to remain undefeated in Mountain West Conference play with a pivotal game against the Fresno State Bulldogs in their home pound. Steve Perez here. Louis Weiner out there somewhere claiming to be working expeditiously. This is Aztecs All In, where we greet fellow longtime Aztec season ticket holder, the aforementioned Mr. Weiner.
Hey, Steve, no more bye weeks, and now it's full speed ahead for the Aztecs football team, just a win away from bowl eligibility. Hear what Coach Lou has to say about the old oil can, who his favorite Mario Kart character is. This one may surprise you. And I'll go one-on-one with returning Aztecs hoopster, Reese Dixon-Waters.
In a bit, we'll hear from a few of the players about the big rivalry game, including one who swears he had no idea what was going on with the Aztecs' bowl eligibility deal, and how players have no choice but to remain focused on the immediate task at hand, which is getting better every day. But, Louis, we get to mention first the fact that Aztecs at 5-1 overall have a shot at achieving eligible status for a postseason bowl bid for the first time in 3 seasons if they can win on national TV against historic rivals Fresno State, or as Coach Lou has taken to calling them, the team up north.
Steve, if you'll recall, last season, just like this season, the Aztecs won their first 2 conference games to start 2-0. That second win was on the road, a 27-24 victory over Wyoming in Laramie. That evened the Aztecs' record at 3-3 overall, and fans started thinking, well, maybe we can make a run. And as we all know, that wasn't to be. The Aztecs lost their final 6 games to finish 3-9. But this year feels different. The offense is kicking into high gear with the players finally showing us what Sean Lewis's high-powered Aztec fast offense can really look like. And now, after their second bye of the year, they're well-rested and ready to face longtime rival Fresno State for the old oil can. This is a pivotal game because with a win, the Aztecs become bowl eligible for the first time in 3 years. That wasn't an issue for a long time. Fans were spoiled when the Aztecs made it to a bowl game for 13 straight seasons ending in 2022. But those were the Brady Hoke, Rocky Long years. This is the Sean Lewis era, and perhaps, Steve, a chance to start another decade-long streak.
All right, the players' coaches claim not to pay attention to all the chatter before the game. The players best not, because if we know this rivalry, we have seen some games where things ended badly for the Aztecs with some freaky plays. Most recently, the Bulldogs able to pull it out 3 years ago in a game at Fresno State during Brady Hoke 2. The Aztecs led that one by 2 scores with 2 minutes to play. Fresno State pulls the miracle comeback, including a recovered onside kick, scores 15 points in 13 seconds, wins 32-28. Now, a bit further back, there's this one. You remember it, Lou. You were right there with me. Happened at Qualcomm Stadium in 2013 under head coach Rocky Long. Fresno State undefeated, ranked 17th in the nation, quarterbacked by Derek Carr. Aztecs trailed by a touchdown in the 4th quarter, but had the ball, had the Aztec faithful on their feet at 4th down and 6 at the Fresno State 40. Quinn Kaler found Ezel Ruffin for the first down. Ruffin was going for more when, to my eye, Ruffin was tackled at the Fresno State 22. He's down. But no whistle, and the ball pops out. Suddenly, there's a Bulldog, Ejido Durang, going the opposite way with the football. There's a few players standing around, but others are chasing after him. He ends up scoring a 72-yard touchdown return. There was an extensive review of this one, and you could see what you wanted to see on the big screen replays. Rocky thought his guy was down, and so did the home side, but with no clear, convincing proof otherwise, the call stood. And despite that, the Aztecs still had a chance to win it with 3 seconds left on a 37-yard field goal. Seamus McMurrow's attempt is blocked, and it's overtime. Bulldogs score, Aztecs do not. Final score in that one, 35-28. couldn't get out of there fast enough after that one, and media covering the game noted Rocky Long did not let any players speak to the media afterward. But this is a different team, different coach, different players. What do we have on tap now?
Steve, it's a tough task for the Aztecs this weekend, facing a quarterback whose dad was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2017. But Coach Sean Lewis says his team is ready. It's rivalry week for the Aztecs with the old oil can on the line as they get set to face Fresno State for the 63rd time. At 5-1, the Aztecs are off to their best start since the 2021 team started 7-0 en route to a 12-2 season, its most wins in program history. As the Aztecs keep winning, the national recognition continues. For the second straight week, they've received votes in both the AP Top 25 and the Coaches Poll. Aztecs have 7 votes in the AP poll, which is equivalent to the 31st ranked team in the nation, and 4 votes in the Coaches Poll, equivalent to number 34. Both teams are coming off bye weeks, and Coach Sean Lewis is excited to get his team back on the field.
Happy rivalry week. Good to see everyone. Good to be back. Good to be back into a game week flow. Excited about the opportunity that both schools have created. Obviously, the great work that our kids have done has positioned us for a really cool back half of the season, right? Like, it's why these guys came here to restore pride in the program and to come on the back stretch here to kick this thing off with this opponent in this week, and a game of this magnitude is really, really cool. Excited for the stage that our kids get to play on with the game, getting moved to the national broadcast on FS1 and the 12:30 local kick. So excited for the environment, excited for all that lays ahead. Guys did a great job during the work week last week, refining the plan, getting healthy, continuing to develop our skills, and eager for the second half of the climb here, right? Just getting started. Have done some really good work, but as we all know, this is a what have you done for me lately, business, and this is a really, really important week, and these are the weeks that make college football special, regardless of all the other things that we talk about with transfer portal this and NIL that, which is cool the way that the game has evolved, but at the core of it is these rivalry games that you get to be a part of that are, bigger than yourself. It's pretty humbling when you get to step into a chapter in the history of this rivalry that's been going on since 1923, and to leave a mark that will be remembered for a long time. So excited for the opportunity, excited for the kids most importantly, and really excited for the work that lays ahead, so we can go earn the right to win this week.
The Aztecs offense is really clicking. Aztecs are coming off that 44-10 win over Nevada, in which Jaden Denegal threw for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns. Lucky Sutton ran for 81 yards and a touchdown, and Jordan Napier caught 5 for 110 and also had a punt return touchdown. Napier is also drawing some national recognition himself. He was named to the Bolitnikoff Award watch list for the most outstanding receiver in the FBS, the first Aztec to make the list since Ezel Ruffin in 2014. At this week's media availability, Coach Lewis was asked if the light bulb is finally clicking on the offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a labor of love, and I think the time on task certainly helps. I think guys in the building, like Jordan Napier and like Big Joe and like Christian and like Ross have really helped the new guys assimilate quicker to what the concepts are and how we need to solve problems. And then again, I think, just the guys having the confidence in themselves with the reps that they've accumulated of how they need to solve the problems that the defense is throwing at us, right? Like, we want guys to operate with discipline within the confines of the call, but we don't want them to be, so rigid and so robotic that it's just like blind obedience, right? Like, I need my new pup that's up to 120 pounds here now to be obedient when I call it, right? Like, I need my dogs that I have in between the white lines here to be able to see the problem, see what the defense is doing to them, know and understand the intent of the call, and then know the parameters within the call so that they can go operate with confidence and solve the problem, because they're the ones that have to do that within the framework of the play, right? So I think guys just having more confidence and like having the courage because of the relationships and the trust that we have to like take some more chances and be like, hey, coach, like, I'll do this and this works out. Like, is that cool? Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, that's great. Like, awesome. Glad you thought about it that way.
Steve, it's obvious that Coach Lou is a big video game fan. When asked about Denegal's improvement, he didn't go all Donkey Kong, but did compare his progress to playing Mario Kart. And you may be surprised to find out who Lewis's favorite Mario Kart character is?
Yeah, I mean, he's always, been leaning in hard to the work and doing a really good job with it all. So, he's obviously feeling more comfortable. And it's funny, like, as he sits there, right, like, and kind of they're at the line of scrimmage, like, it reminds me of, like, a game of Mario Kart a little bit, right, like, where everyone's revved up and they're ready to go, and Denny's at the helm of it, and I don't know who your favorite Mario Kart character is, but I'm always kind of partial to Princess Peach. She's got great agility, and she's able to roll and go, right, but he's able to, kind of see what's what and how things are able to attack, and, whether we're on the Rainbow course or, the Kingdom course, like, he's able to operate within the confines of the call and go. But when in doubt, find Princess Peach, and she usually helps you get right.
Aztecs will be facing a Fresno State team that is also 5-2 and 2-1 in conference. The Bulldogs are coming off their lone loss in conference play, 49-21 at Colorado State. Bulldogs are led by a quarterback with a very familiar last name to football fans. E.J. Warner is the son of NFL Hall of Famer Kurt Warner. He's in his first year at Fresno State after also playing at Temple and Rice, and he is the active FBS leader in career passing yards, having thrown for more than 10,000. This year, he's averaging 212 yards a game with 10 touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, a dude who's played a ton of football, right? I mean, he didn't just fall out of bed and become the NCAA career passing active leader right now the way that he is, right? So he's got a ton of great reps accumulated. He's obviously had a tremendous teacher from birth and his Hall of Fame father, right? So he sees the game really well. He plays with great anticipation. He's very accurate. Really good hand talent. And again, week in and week out, you can tell he's getting more and more comfortable with the scheme that he's operating and the playmakers that are around him.
Fresno State also has a very talented group of running backs in Bryson Donaldson and Rayshawn Luke. The team averages over 160 yards a game on the ground. They've both rushed for about 400 yards this season, combining for 8 touchdowns. And Lewis knows his defense has a big challenge on its hands.
They got a talented group in the backfield. I think they do as good a job as anyone that we've played in terms of their targeting and the way that their O-line is coached up, and more importantly, the way that their wide receivers do a great job blocking support, and their backs are dynamic, right? So we better do a really good job with our physical fundamentals and getting multiple hats to the ball because they're a really, really physical unit. And, again, like the game's going to be won in the trenches, and we got to do a really good job there. And just because we've done a good job in the past, like, it really doesn't matter. Like, we got to do better, and it's going to be a very, very physical game along the line of scrimmage for sure.
Steve, the old oil can rivalry may not mean too much to Aztecs fans, but it's a big deal to the coaches and players on both teams. It also plays into Lewis's continuing effort to make sure his players understand and embrace the full tradition of Aztecs football. They're not just playing for themselves, but they also represent Aztecs players from the past. They follow in the footsteps of some Aztecs greats, and it's important that they get the full picture.
It's awesome, right? I think, again, rivalry games make things really, really special. And again, this thing started back all the way 1923, right? And to have the original oil can found on our campus, like it belongs here, right? And so then you go and you dive into the history of how, hey, with the automobile travel, you need the oil can, you need the water so that vehicles didn't overheat, and how our student body did a great job getting that thing and keeping it here. So when the work was getting done on the Aztec Bowl, right, like they excavated it, and urban legend has it, like all good rivalries do, right? Like that oil can, well, whose oil can is it? Is it ours? Is it theirs? Who was it taken from, or was it left? Like all those things, like, well, it was found on our campus. We're going to claim it. That thing's still here in our locker room, and we're going to defend it. And it's a really big deal, right? So, it felt like there was a gap or a hole, when the schedule came out last year because we didn't play. And I'm excited about the opportunity to have another chapter in this rivalry. I'm excited about, obviously, both of us going to the Pac-12 in the future to be able to sustain this rivalry because, again, with all the other changes that are going on, I mean, I hope we never lose the traditional rivalry games and what that means because that's special to college football. And I hope we never lose the marching bands because that's special to college football as well. When you look at that oil can and you see the scores going all the way back to 1923, and you got guys amongst your staff that can tell you stories individually, or you see old videos of former players and, how they speak of the reverence about that game, the importance of this game. Again, like you realize how minuscule you are, right? And how lucky you are to be able to steward such a proud program and to be able to stand watch over the previous Aztec Warriors and to care for, the current guys, and then obviously build something that's special that future Aztecs want to be a part of.
Steve, while the Aztecs lead the all-time series, they're 31-24 with 4 ties. Most of those wins have come in Fresno, surprisingly. The Aztecs are just 12-18-2 against the Bulldogs at home, but have a winning record of 15-13-2 in Fresno. And with both teams looking for that 6th win to attain bowl eligibility, this oil can battle will boil down to the team that doesn't run out of gas.
So the battle for the old oil can has a fair amount of history, as you well know, Lewis. But if the Aztecs are to come out on top, my thought is they're going to have to keep sharpening that mental edge when they go into Fresno this time around. The idea of honoring the history of the rivalry without peeking too far out ahead of themselves. On Monday, Aztec center Ross Ulugalo-Masauli and linebacker Owen Chambliss talked about why this feud hits them hard and how staying locked in keeps them from tripping over tomorrow. No crystal balls needed here, just grind. It's a bigger deal to a modern-day high guy like Ross than Owen, who transferred in from Utah and went to school in Corona. But that oil can's been Aztec property since the game was last played 2 years ago here in Brady Hoke's last game coaching the Aztecs. It's been sitting in the Aztecs locker room for everyone to see this week. These guys seem determined to keep it from wandering north. Ross and Owen break down the rivalry's weight. It's personal, it's historical, and it's locker room gold.
Waking up and coming to the building that early in the morning and just being able to see that oil can means a lot to us, and we don't want that going anywhere. This rivalry means a lot to me, and being here all 5 years of my college career, I mean, it's always a big game when we play the team up north.
We understand the history of the oil can, and we just want to keep it in-house and make sure that we're representing the past Aztecs well for what they fought for.
So Coach Lewis started calling them the team up north, and everyone just followed suit. No names needed, nothing personal, just business. But even with that early start, Fresno is no joke. There's the potential for 40,000 screaming fans. And since 1980, that stadium was known simply as Bulldog Stadium. They renamed it Valley Children 3 years back, and here's Ross talking about the environment up north.
It's a great college environment. That walk to their field is a tough walk, but we love the environment. Being on the field with the students right behind us and yelling at us, it's college football. It's what you love about college football, and that's the type of environment we like to play in, and can't wait to get into that environment and play ball. Up north is more people not liking you, and that type of environment. It's always a dig deep dive that they go into every time we're up there. Yeah, they'll know everybody's name. They'll know the guys on the sidelines. They'll know your personal life. It's always something you hear being on the sidelines.
So there are some worse things apparently happening on that field too, if the chatter on Aztec Mesa is to be believed. But that away side is pretty close to the stands, Lewis, so the players can hear the locals if they choose. Scream something a little extra loud and try to get into their helmets. The Aztecs' challenge is to be cool, focus on the now. Not worry about bold dreams or making noise in the Mountain West. Heck, Chambliss said he didn't even know about that number just yet. So yeah, to him, one snap, one day at a time. Don't know about you, Lewis, but I've been impressed by the players staying focused on not getting ahead of themselves when fans are chattering already about being a game away from bowl eligibility. The topic came to mind after reviewing the game where the Aztecs took it to Nevada, 44-10 on CBS Sports Network. Now, on the field afterward, Jade Denegal was interviewed about the possibility of the Aztecs making some noise in the Mountain West, especially after a game like that where the defense was its usual stout self, even added a score. Special teams added points off a return to go with a solid place kicking by Gabe Placencia. And the offense started to click, consistently putting up more points on the scoreboard. I saved Denegal's response to that because it struck me as a very mature one, and it sounded very familiar to something their head coach might say.
We could be really dangerous. I mean, we just got to continue with our process every week. You know, we're not too focused on the future. We're focused on our next game, and we're going to continue practice, get better every day, and focus on our upcoming game.
And here's Ross and Owen on that mental lock-in.
Works, just sticking to the process, not getting overconfident, not getting too down low, we're just staying right here. And just letting the process take care of itself.
Attacking the next day as if it's the only one you got, because it is the only one we got. So we're not looking past the team up north. We're not looking past anything. We're just ready to attack the next day and the next opponent.
I feel like we have cleaner work. I feel like we were more urgent when we transition from period to period, and I feel like we just have overall higher intensity practices.
Like I said, people are attacking the day rather than looking towards the end of the week. Everyone's attacking the day like they want to get better. Everyone is getting better day in and day out. And yeah, it comes, from the top down. You got Coach Lou, but then we have a lot of great leaders on our team that carry the attitude of the team. And the more you get on younger guys' backs, the more they start to hone in on what we're trying to accomplish here. So you have leaders on the team, and then you have people that follow those leaders. And I feel like everybody's on board, and we're all on the same page. So I don't see much more that we can do with everybody besides just keep working every day. Yeah, those guys everybody's going to hop on that train, and I feel like everybody has hopped on that train towards attack the day.
Top-down communication and, letting the guys that have played ball, have been in college for a while, bring the younger guys along.
Work works. Doesn't get any more simple than that. Attack the day. Focus on the execution. So who better to cap off this one than Coach Sean Lewis himself? He's all about maximizing the moment, no distractions. Here's Lewis hammering home that focus.
I mean, that's the expectation, right? Like, that's what we should do. You guys get the luxury of being able to zoom out and detach and evaluate those things. I mean, I'll stop and catch my breath at the end of this whole thing and, see how cool all the things are. It's more importantly for me, like, how do we maximize today, right? Like, and I think if we handle, again, today the right way and this whole week the right way, then it gives us an opportunity to handle Saturday the right way, and then hopefully the scoreboard can take care of itself at that point in time.
In this game, Lewis, on paper, the Aztecs offense seems fairly evenly matched with a Fresno State offense. Give the Aztecs the slight edge on defense, and turnovers could prove big in this one. Fresno has a -3 turnover margin, which is 101st in the FBS. Aztecs are +4, and that is 27th in the nation. But they are on the road, so it may take a special teams play or two to pull out what more often than not is a closely contested game, even if the Aztecs are favored going into this one. As of Monday afternoon, odds makers had the Aztecs favored by 3.5. By mid-afternoon on Saturday, Lewis, we will have the answer to whether Sean Lewis and the rest of the coaching staff has helped the Aztecs players keep that mental edge, stay grounded, and bring home that old oil can. Meantime, up north, Lewis, the Bulldogs head coach Matt Entz downplayed any rivalry. He gave a brief history of the game to his players as he related via a stream on the interwebs carried by the Mountain West on the Fresno State Channel. Dogs had a week off themselves after losing 49-21 in Fort Collins to the Rams of Colorado State. It was the Bulldogs' first conference loss, dropped into 5-2 and 2-1 in the Mountain West. Ent's first oil can game as head coach, and says technically there have only been 13 prior official rivalry matchups, and the teams didn't play at all last season. Every game is big, he says, especially the next one.
Great opportunity this week, play a really good football team. San Diego State, in my opinion, probably as the best team we've played or faced since probably Kansas. And so have a ton of respect for what Coach Lewis has done. You look at kind of the evolution of their football team, and you see, positive signs that they've grown a ton since year one. You can tell they're getting their type of kids in there. You can see that their kids are believing in their system. They do a great job in their quarters. Robbie does a tremendous job on the defensive side. I know Sean is going to challenge you both offensively. You can tell they've just continued to grow. They've grown in personnel, but they've also, you can tell the environment is that of learning. Those kids have gotten a ton better from year one to year two. But offensively, an RPO-based system. big offensive line that's going to stay connected. They don't really come off their combos, which forces the conflicted player to have to make some decisions, and they can hurt you equally effective with the run-pass game. They have an elite group of wide receivers. They have a tremendous receiver in number 2. They line them up all over the place, use them in the run game as well, kind of the jet, the quarterback run game, the power sweep, the Q counter, a lot of motion from FIB. And then their run game, they got 2 backs that I think complement each other really well. They complement that offensive line really well. And then defensively, huge quarters team. You can tell they understand it. They understand the issues within it, and they have answers. They have solutions to it. They play extremely hard. They got a really good group of kids up front in the defensive line that play unbelievably hard. They probably have a draft pick defensive end. That was, I think, the defensive player of the year preseason. They have a corner, number 1, who I think will line up everywhere, probably projected 3rd-round draft pick. So they got good players, and we got to execute at a higher level than we did the last time we lined up and played.
Of course, the players Anson's referring to include number 2 Aztecs leading wide receiver, Jordan Napier. He is also second in the conference in receptions per game with 6, receiving yards a game with 92. The draft pick on defense he mentioned, Trey White, 4 sacks to date. And that doesn't jump out statistically, but he has proved to be a continuing disruptive force on the edge for a defense that leads most conference team statistical categories, including total defense and scoring defense. And that corner 1, as referenced, of course, is Chris Johnson, anchoring what is the number 1 passing defense in the Mountain West. He has 3 picks on the season, 2 for touchdowns. Final note about the 12:30 p.m. start time on FS1. Lewis, a quick scan of the interwebs shows some fan grousing about the early start, which one complained was less than ideal for tailgating and may hinder attendance. Who let the dogs out, indeed? Now let's get to more men's basketball, shall we, with some more from the Aztecs' recent media days on campus. Lewis caught up with Reese Dixon-Waters about his approach to the long basketball season. Lewis?
So, Reese, a year ago, I was in Vegas for Mountain West Conference Media Days. You were there with Miles Bird and Coach Dutcher, and you talked to the media as if things were okay, and then a few days later, it seems all of a sudden your season ended. So what happened? Did you know at that point that there was a problem, or was it really after media days where things kind of went wrong?
I knew I was injured. I knew I was injured October 8th because that was the day. I didn't get confirmation though until after I came back from media day, but I knew something was wrong for sure.
So how was that for you, having been through that and then finding out that, I don't know if you knew the whole season was lost at that point, but that must have been a difficult situation for you.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely knew something wasn't right. It wasn't a pulling feeling or anything sore. It was a sharp feeling, so I knew it was definitely my bone. But it was frustrating at first, gradually, probably around like when I got able to get back on the court. Physically, I was good. When I feel like I was all the way back mentally, probably around like May or June. I felt like I was mentally focused and back and ready to play.
What part of your game did you work on most while you were getting back to training?
I think a lot of it was like movement. When I was getting back into being able to shoot and being able to work out, it was definitely just my movement and getting my timing right, getting used to playing again with the basketball and moving without the basketball, playing defense. Playing defense was definitely the hardest, though, because you have to get back to being able to make quick decisions while trying to stop somebody else from scoring. So that was definitely the hardest part.
Especially playing for Coach Dutcher, we're a defense-minded team. That must be really focused for you.
Yeah, definitely.
So you were the Pac-12 Sixth Man of the Year a few years ago, and you've also started. What do you prefer? Do you prefer starting or coming off the bench?
I liked starting more, but when I was at SC, I still had starter minutes. I just came off the bench. So for me, it was more just about the minutes I got. Obviously, you'd love to be the starter because you love to be one of the 5 that get out there first and be able to impact the game first early on. So every player, I think, would say starter.
A couple of years ago, when you were playing first half of the season, you had a great first half. Then conference play came. You seemed to struggle with some injuries. Do you feel you've kind of gotten past that? That must have been difficult that season.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I've heard that a lot, that I was injured, and that's what kind of like slowed me down. But I don't think it was it had anything to do with that. It was my first time playing the conference, and it was a different conference, obviously, than the Pac-12. It was a little difficult just to, especially being one of the main guys or one of the scorers. It was definitely difficult being able to, know the game plan going in and be able to execute it while people are trying to stop you from doing what you know how to do. And it was the first time I've been in that position, so I just struggled at it. And, now that I watch film a lot and I know my game and I'm more mature and older, it would definitely be easier for me.
So you had some options coming back. You could have gone pro, you could have transferred, and you decided to stay here at San Diego State. Was that a tough decision, and why did you make that decision?
No, it wouldn't have been smart for me to go pro without showing, what I could do at my best. And in terms of transferring, I'm not leaving for money or whatever somebody can offer me that you could easily take back, or is something that's just materialistic or can go away. I think the lessons I learned here from the people that are here are very important, and I think that's more valuable than anything you could just give me that's, material or something that I'll just have for a certain amount of time.
So what are your strengths coming back? What do you think you're best at on the court?
I would just say being mature and making mature decisions. I'm still a player, so I'm going to make decisions that to the public may be like, why would he shoot that, or why did he pass that? And I think that's part of basketball, is your creativity and not everybody understanding it. But being older and having sat out a year, I'll definitely be able to be, a better player than I was in terms of my decision making, my shot making ability, and just playing with more confidence.
And on the other side, what do you feel you still need to work on and get better at?
Everything. I think, I don't think there's one thing that, I would choose over anything else. I still need to work on my ball handle, my shooting, my free throws, and everything that has to do with basketball. The one things I can control for sure is my effort and how hard I play. And I don't think that'll ever change, but everything else got to get better for sure.
So you got to play with Coach Dutcher a couple of years ago, and last year you got to watch the whole year with Coach Dutcher. What is about him, because you've seen it now on both sides, that makes him such a great coach?
His ability to understand every player in a different way. I think a lot of people, and I'm one of those people, where I wouldn't say anymore, but I used to be a person that I only looked at things in the black and white, and he looks in the gray area. He's not somebody that is going to judge you off of what you do. He always wants the best for you. And, he knows how to talk to each and every person differently and how to get his message across without you taking it personal or taking it in a way that you feel like he's attacking you. And I think he's really good at that, and he's a great coach, one of the best to do it, and I'm very appreciative of him.
Got some new guys coming in. I talked to Latrell Davis a few minutes ago, Sean Newman. What is it about these guys coming in from other programs that you think they'll be able to help immediately?
Just their maturity. They've been in the game, they've played the game. Even the younger dudes who are learning with us, they still have a competitive spirit, competitive fire, and they're all willing to learn. And I think that's the biggest thing. Being willing to learn is better than acting like you know it all, because when you think you know it all, you don't think you have any room for improvement. And I think for the most part with the team we have, everybody's willing to learn. And although we have times where I wouldn't even say we quit, but we make bad decisions or poor decisions, everybody's willing to learn. And for the most part, we don't take it personally when the coaches get on us, because we know that they want to win, just like we do.
And finally, what do you hope to get most out of this final season in college basketball?
I want to win. So, I've made it to Mountain West. I made it to March Madness every year. I made it to the Sweet 16, or the Elite Eight in the Sweet 16. So obviously I want to win a championship. Of course I want to win a Mountain West championship, a regular season championship, but I want to win a national championship.
Thank you for your time.
Great stuff, Lewis, especially looking forward to seeing Reese get to the free throw line. During his first season as an Aztec, he was solid gold from there. Men have one more exhibition, October 29th at Viejas against the University of San Diego Toreros, before tipping it off for real November the 4th against Long Beach State. And by the way, Lewis, thanks for expeditiously heading off to Las Vegas this week for the Mountain West Basketball Media Days, men and women. Looking forward to hearing more from Coach Dutcher and women's coach Stacey Terry Hudson. Also learning more about that conference landscape in the Mountain West with the early edition this season of the Lopes of Grand Canyon. And, of course, from more Aztec players.
That will do it for this edition of Aztecs All In. Thanks for giving us a listen. We'll be back Saturday following the Aztecs game against Fresno State. Please follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also now catch Aztecs All In on YouTube. You can also drop us a line at aztecsallin@gmail.com and follow us on the X at Aztecs_all_in for late-breaking Aztecs news. So until next time, for Steve Perez, I'm Louis Weiner. So long.